Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode. In this video, I want to discuss the controversy, or some might say the non-controversy, surrounding the recent unveiling of the Obama portraits in Washington. And these are the official presidential portraits that all presidents and first ladies have done. Now, if you go to the mainstream sources, such as, here I have the CBC open, or the BBC, or CNN, they kind of give you the usual puff piece you would expect. On one hand, they talk about how Obama was very happy with the artist that he picked, and how he thought the artist did a great job of both him and Michelle. Or you also have to take that by picking a black artist, that this somehow makes black artists more legitimate, like himself, and that this is a good thing. However, with these paintings, there is actually quite a bit of controversy in that the artist, Kehinde Wiley, actually has quite an interesting path of drawing black women in heroic poses beheading white women. And let me just show you a picture of this here. So there you go. So when you look at this, it seems clear to me that the artist is displaying a great deal of white hatred, and there's just no way you can ignore that. Now, I've gone on to Twitter and some other stories, and the defense of this is that, well, the artist is depicting classical scenes from the Bible, and why are you making this into a race thing? Well, aside from the fact that it's staring me right in the face, the question that I ask these people is, well, if an artist, a white artist, were to draw a white woman beheading black women, would that be okay? What's more, would it be okay if an eventual former President Trump were to do the same thing? And of course, they don't answer that, and they can't answer that because they know it's wrong, particularly in these kind of heightened identity politics times, in which we're seeing a rise in, I think, black nationalism, and corresponding leaders seeing a rise in white nationalism. And it's precisely because of this. What's more, though, is the artist himself, in an article in the New York Magazine, plainly says that, commenting on these kinds of works of art, that it's sort of a play on the kill whitey thing. So very clearly, this is racial hatred of a black artist against white people, and yet the CBC and the CNNs of the world and the BBC do not even bring this up. And I think it's quite fair to ask Obama about this. Why did he pick this artist? Out of, I'm sure, hundreds and thousands of talented black artists out there, if you wanted to pick a black artist, why did he pick this guy who clearly has some issues? And why didn't they ask the artists themselves? Oh, what was it again? What if the painting was reversed? Would that be okay? And what I think this says about the media is this really shows you why the mainstream media is a failing entity. There are really important questions, and there's a really big story involved in this puff piece of a story that should have been asked. And if you don't want to discuss it, well, then other news organizations like the Daily Wire or other places on Twitter are going to have those discussions. And all you're doing is, although you're trying to cover up this controversy, all you're doing is separating yourself from a major story and making yourself irrelevant. And I'll also note, though, too, like on the CBC and CNN websites, and this is true of a lot of major media now, they always close down their comment section because they know that someone like me perhaps might have left a comment that would have totally broken up their whitewashed narrative. But they don't allow that. They don't allow the discussions. They want to try and push their own phony narrative. And this is why both the CBC, CNN, and the BBC no longer have the power they once did, and also why they can totally miss gigantic things or gigantic stories like Donald Trump being elected. And they've done that because they put themselves into a bubble and they refuse to come out of it and deal with the real issues of the day. What is worse, though, is that, in my opinion, I think we can all agree that racism in all of its forms is a bad thing. But if you're willing to condemn, say, the white nationalists at Charlottesville, but at the same time you're not willing to condemn a black nationalist like this Kehinde Wiley, or even ask him a question about his work, I mean, you're part of the problem. And you're part of the problem for the simple reason that when you don't question black nationalists, you're going to create more white nationalists. And it's as simple as that. And I really believe it's something that so-called news outlets or legacy news outlets like the CBC, BBC, or CNN really need to consider. Anyway, that's what I think. So I'm very interested in what you have to think. So please leave any comments below. Other than that, if you like my channel, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I generally try and focus more on history, particularly the history of Western civilization, and generally kind of Western values and capitalism. But I do get sucked into these current controversies now and again. I'm hoping to put a video out on Rome very soon. But other than that, I just want to thank you for watching, and until next time.